ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you to Crandon, Wisconsin for the third round of the True Value Off-Road Series. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty, Reid, working alongside with Ivan, the Iron Man Stewart. If you've been with us for the first two rounds of racing, you know that in Class 1 1600 and 11S, they're low horsepower, but extremely competitive because it puts a premium on driver capability.
Well, it really does, Marty. As you say, not very much horsepower, not very much suspension. The drivers really got to take advantage of this track. They got to learn the rough spots, their braking points, don't make mistakes, get down to the hard ground. Really a driver's race.
Now, we also have two other classes, 9, 10, and 13. They are a lot more horsepower, especially those big 13s. That's non-production pickup trucks, V8 horsepower, V8 speed. For more on that story, let's go down to pit lane, and the third member of our broadcast team, here's Rick Johnson.
If a driver comes in to make a quick change, I'll be here to give you the report. The unique thing about Crandon is the lap times are long enough that a driver can come in, switch a tire, cool off his motor, whatever he has to do, and get back out on the course before losing a complete lap.
Thanks, Rick. One thing we're going to keep our eye on is the weather. The clouds are a bit on the gray side. Temperature 80 degrees and a 60% chance of rain. You can see they're off in the distance now, and hopefully they'll stay there. Let's take a look at the 2-mile layout here at Crandon.
Marty, this is the longest, fastest track of the circuit. As we know, that long Oklahoma land race start, that long straightaway into that fast right-hand corner.
The fastest turn in all of off-road racing. You flat-footed at speeds of 90 miles an hour. Second area, heading down to the gravel pit.
Back in the gravel pit. That's a good passing area, Marty. Back into a hard left-hand corner. In a hard, big jump back in toward that finish line area.
And after you get done with that section, you come around past Parsons Pond and also the back straightaway. Two other areas where a driver can pass very quickly if he's got the horsepower. Now we're getting ready for action here in Class 1 1600, and this is a huge field. There are a total of 22 machines entered in this event.
Marty, they use an air-cooled VW-type motor here, 1600cc, a restrictor plate under the carburetor to keep everybody equal. Minimum weight, 1,300 pounds, and these cars make just about 80 horsepower.
And our True Value starting field includes the man who has won the first two events here. That's Todd Attig. Greg Smith, he likes this track. He'll be in the number 792. Also, Dan Baudoux, 705 will be his number in the starting field. Mike Seefelt, he'll be in the number 797. And also out there, Mark Steinhardt, his car number 713. Gordon Zima, the number 673, also in the True Value starting field, along with Bill Scott. He'll be in vehicle number 624. Taking a look at the rest of this 22 vehicle starting field, pick out your favorite driver and hold on to your seat, because 22 vehicles heading for turn 1 just won't be able to fit.
Marty, a real driver's class here. These guys are really going to have to be concentrated. They're off.
And as the green flag flies, we'll sit back, hold our breath along with you, and see who survives turn number 1. First turn, it looks like Greg Smith is going to take the early lead, and everybody looks like they're going to make it clean.
They did make it through there, Marty. Amazing again.
Now, as you said, this is definitely a driver's class. These cars equally matched. It is really up to the driver to get the maximum out of his equipment. It's Greg Smith first, Todd Attig second, Mike Seefelt is in third, and Mike Notary is in fourth.
One of the tricky things about this track, Marty, is the fact that they've got so much dry, and they've really got some slick areas going to the gravel pit here. You can see Todd Attig slide sideways there.
Yeah, Attig took a look inside Greg Smith, but was unable to get the traction to make any attempt at the pass, and it cost him a little bit. He's dropped back about 3 car lengths to our leader, Greg Smith. Whoa! Traffic jam at the Parkway. Now you're back with the lead pack as they are making their way past what will be the finish line of this race. And your leader still remains Greg Smith. Todd Attig second, Mike Seefelt third.
I'm a little bit amazed at how much Greg Smith has put on Todd Attig, because typically Todd Attig is really tough to beat in this class.
He is 2 for 2 so far this year. No one's been able to beat him in our first 2 stops at Lake Geneva and at Anago, but still plenty of racing time left here, although the 2 of them have opened up a little more distance between Mike Seefeld in third place.
Marty, driving these cars is so critical to get the shifting points exactly right, because they only make so much horsepower, so much torque. You've got to get those points just right to put any time on anybody.
And the corners become critical, because if you don't carry the momentum around the corner, then it just ruins your straightaway speed.
Absolutely, because they just, again, as we talk about, they don't make that much horsepower. Great drivers class, though.
There is your leader. Again, these guys all taking the left side of the track, and we, as the day goes on, will see drivers taking the right side as well.
And again, I think that's typically because the ground is harder and they get that little bit of horsepower right down to that hard-packed ground opposed to being that loose, loamy soil.
Greg Smith looking for his first win of the season here on the SOTA World Series of Off-Road Racing and True Value Off-Road Series event. He is in front of Todd Attig, the man who has beaten him in those two races here in Class 1/1600. Then you get a view there. There is Mike Seefeld in third, Mike Notary in fourth. Seefeld from Sussex, Wisconsin, 24 years old, and doing very well here in today's race. Back to the race for the lead, and Attig is closing.
Todd's getting closer, he is. Marty would might make note, these guys also will change engines throughout the day and run different classes. So a lot of different races they can do in the same car.
Looking back, got a bit of a battle beginning to build for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Try to pick out some of the numbers. One of the vehicles there is Bill Brown. Back to the lead, and it is getting interesting. Todd Attig is closing on Greg Smith. Greg, age 37. Whoa! Traffic jam again into the final turn. That looks like Mike Skalitsky and Matt Lyon, Mike Warren. Look out, guys. A lot of contact.
Oh, we got a four abreast going through the corner here, Marty.
Boy, and this is where it really gets interesting. Look, getting hung out the drive. That may cost him a place. It looks like it might be Skalitsky. And yes, it is Mike, and he's going to fall back one spot there. But plenty of racing still to go here as these guys will close up on each other one more time. Don't go away. A lot more racing action here in the True Value Off-Road Series here at Crandon, Wisconsin. Brought to you by True Value Hardware. See your True Value Hardware store, because help is just around the corner. And by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Marty Reid, Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson is in pit lane, and we're in Crandon, Wisconsin, round number 3 of the True Value Off-Road Series.
Well, I tell you what, Marty, Greg is not getting away from Todd Attig. He is just hanging right in there, isn't he?
Greg Smith still first, Todd Attig in second place and trying to take the lead. These two guys have turned it into a two-car race for the overall win. A lot of action still going on behind these two.
It looks like Todd might get in a little bit deeper, but Greg is able to pull him in the corner. He may have a little bit more power.
Attig from Dixon, Illinois. Now we're looking back into the pack. That's Mike Skalitsky, Gordon Zima. Those two going after each other. And coming through the gravel, but there is Bill Scott. He's on the outside looking to take a pass. Looks like he may get around. Yes, he's ahead of Skalitsky. And this is a battle for 11th place.
It is, Marty. It's amazing how hard these guys are driving. They've been driving just as hard as any other class in the big trucks. They just don't have quite the horsepower to work with. You know that someday they're just dreaming to be in a big truck.
This is the pack right there that you're looking at. Zima, Scott, Skalitsky, 10th, 11th, and 12th place on the racetrack here in Class 1/1600. And again, these are 1600 cc power plants, produce about 80 horsepower, and it truly is one of the classes that's made for drivers, especially if you've got limited dollars. You can get involved in this much, much cheaper, probably 1/20th of what it would take to go racing in one of the big truck classes.
Absolutely, Marty. Look at the race going on here. This is fantastic.
Greg Smith still in the lead. Todd Attig falling back just a bit as they head down towards the gravel pit turn. It's a 180-degree left-hander, lap traffic. Roy Holmes. Oh, and Holmes gets in the way of Todd Attig. Oh, no, and I bet you Todd would love to talk to Mr. Holmes right now.
Again, remember that that Mr. Holmes does not have a mirror, so he doesn't necessarily know that Todd's back there. So he's driving the line that he wants to drive.
Oh, but he's still holding him up. He's got a feeling back there. You've driven this way, you know, and he still won't let him by.
Well, Todd may have to give him a little bit of a bump. That's off-road racing. He may have to come there and rub his tire a little bit and say, hey, I've got to get by here. I've got to get this guy.
The white flag is out. Whoa, and now they are on top of each other, and with open-wheel racing, that can get very dangerous. Boy, he just would not let him by.
No, he was not. That's off-road racing, Marty.
Well, he's lap traffic, and I'm sure there'll probably be a discussion with each of these gentlemen after the race is over. But what it has effectively done, it's allowed Greg Smith to run away, and all Greg has to do now is negotiate the track because we're on the white flag lap. It has taken away Todd Attig's chance at victory.
It really has. He's got to be really, really frustrated.
This is the battle for 10th. John Huss, Mark Kruger, they're going after each other on the race course. This is what I love about this division. There is always somebody trying to pass somebody else for a position out there.
Somebody's always racing.
Look at these two. You'd swear this was for the lead. Going down the straightaway that heads into the gravel pit one more time. Can they make the pass? It's Huss in front of Kruger, and it looks like Huss is going to hold on to it. And he does. So these guys will be coming up for their last lap around. As the battle continues back there, the big question mark will be, can Todd Attig reel in our leader? That's lap traffic in front of Greg Smith, and Smith, looking back, I don't think you can see Todd Attig anywhere to be found.
No, I think he just fell back too much with that lap traffic. I think Greg's only got a couple more corners here. He's going to be the checkered flag, Marty.
Well, Greg took the lead from the very first turn, and we talked about how important getting a great start into turn one. Here it is at Crandon on this 2-mile layout. It has paid big dividends for Greg Smith, and with an assist from lap traffic, he is going to cruise to victory lane as he takes the checkered flag here at Crandon in winning the Class 1 1600 championship and snapping Todd Attig's winning streak at 2 here in the True Value Off-Road Series. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk to our winner here at Crandon, Wisconsin. Back at the True Value Off-Road Series, Class 1 1600 action has just been completed, and Greg Smith has snapped Todd Attig's winning streak at 2. He's down in victory lane. Rick Johnson is there with him. Rick?
Greg, a good job. You led it from wire to wire.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. We had a start in the second row, so we had to get around everybody, and we got a good hole shot and came around, started right, got out in the lead, and just kept it there. The Goodyears were grooved up this morning. Jim Alexander and Joe got it all set up for me, and man, oh man, they just hooked because it was pretty slick out there the first couple laps. I don't know if you were able to notice how far we were, how the back ends were hanging out there, but it was pretty nice.
You had a great race with Todd Attig. Were you aware of the situation that happened to him on the last lap, getting tangled with a lap driver?
No, I wasn't. I know he was around. I could see his white hood almost the whole race, and then we got into some lap traffic, and then I kind of lost track of him, to be honest.
Well, congratulations to Greg. We're getting ready now as you look at the huge crowd here at Crandon, Wisconsin. We're getting ready for Class 13 action now. This is non-production pickup action, and this is what it's all about.
Well, I'll tell you what, Marty, this one, it just has to be two-wheel drive, engine mounted in front of the driver, and it can make 500, these make about 500 horsepower.
Now, this is non-production, so they have a lot of freedom. In the Chevrolet starting field, the number 1394 will be Dennis Ferdon. Dan Vanden Heuvel will be in the number 1377. Those two guys won the first 2 rounds. Robert Flanagan will be in the number 1369. David Marks in the 1312. Also in the starting field, Jim Moskalik. He'll be in the 1342. Also, we'll find Ed Schultz, his truck number 1331. Then it's Ron James. He'll be driving truck number 1323. And as you look down the rest of the starting field, we will tell you that there are a total of 20 trucks in this lineup. And again, it's never enough to emphasize how important the start is here. We saw it with Greg Smith. He led from wire to wire, and the first race in Class 1 1600. And these big non-production pickups take the green flag.
Boy, they really run, Marty. Let me tell you, lots and lots of horsepower, relatively lightweight.
Well, let's sort it out, and we'll wait for him to survive turn number 1. Little bit of contact, but nothing serious. Right there, a little push. Somebody getting a little sideways, but able to correct it. Joe
Vanden
Zilich
Heuvel
is breaking at the top of the screen there. Joe Zilich looks like he is out of the race. Mechanical problems.
Dan Vanden Heuvel, I believe, got the lead, didn't he, Marty?
Yes, Dan Vanden Heuvel has taken the early lead. Dennis Ferdon is second. David Marks is third. Then in fourth place, Jeff Kemp, but he is feeling pressure from Pat Brown, and Brown looking to the inside.
He's coming to the inside. That was a great pass.
Whoa, what a shot of horsepower by Pat Brown as he now takes over fourth position. Terry Severson is behind Camp in sixth place. So now you know who the top six are. Here we are back to the lead pack, and that is Vanden Heuvel in front of Ferdon and David Marks. Boy, look at the close racing action that we're seeing all the way back here at the end of lap number one. You could basically throw a blanket over the top 20 positions.
Good racing back there, Marty. Always good racing back there.
The lead stretching out a little bit now for the top three. And there we see Jeff Kemp. He is in front of Terry Severson. Severson trying to close down on him, and Robert Flanagan is right behind him. There are the leaders: Vanden Heuvel, Ferdon, Marks, and Brown.
That's a great shot of the elevation changes here, Marty. A lot of people realize that there's a lot of up and down on this particular course.
2 miles in length here at Crandon. You need lots of horsepower and tremendous staying power. As we now head back on the front straightaway, 2 different strategies here.
Here's a perfect example. Dan Vanden Heuvel on the right-hand side, and that looks to be the quickest, Marty.
So Vanden Heuvel maintains the lead and looks like he has stretched it a bit over Dennis Ferdon here in the Class 13 non-production pickup race as part of the True Value Off-Road Series here in Crandon.
When Dan's truck is just handling beautifully, the best I've seen him handle in a long time. He must have been doing some work on this truck recently.
Dan Vanden Heuvel definitely in control of this race, but back in the battle for fourth, there is Terry Severson. He's gotten around Jeff Kemp, and there goes Robert Flanagan around Kemp into turn 2. So the positions are changing. There you see him, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Severson, Flanagan, and Kemp.
That's great passing. There's a good passing. This is Crandon, Wisconsin, where the passing good, fast racing.
Heading down into that 180-degree left-hander known as the gravel pit. And boy, it can come up and bite you. They call it the gravel pit because there's a ton of stones down there that you can literally get kicked up into the cockpit area. Now this battle continues. Severson trying to hold off Robert Flanagan. Kemp is right behind them.
Flanagan looks to the outside, the inside. He just can't quite make a move on him yet.
Now all these trucks are 2-wheel drive, so there's no 4-wheel advantage for anybody out here. As these two go after each other, again, you see the course change in undulation. And you really have to be able to drive a smooth line. Whoa, wait a minute. That's David Reid. He's in the pits with a flat tire. See the crew, and boy, if you stop, it's just deadly to your chances.
Oh, Marty, yeah, you just practically, there's no chance then to win the race for sure. You might get finishing points.
The leader is still Dan Vanden Heuvel. Dennis Ferdon is second, and there is David Marks. He is running well in third place.
Marty, you see these guys making the pass. Not only are they trying to get outside to get a pass, but they're trying to keep the dirt from the guy's tires out of the radiator, out of your face. And believe me, that really hurts with the amount of rocks out here.
This is the battle for 5th right now. That's Terry Severson and Robert Flanagan going after each other.
They're still going at it. Flanagan can't quite get by.
Flanagan seems to be a little looser through the corners. You saw how he fishtailed there?
He did a little sideways, and that cost him. Every time you get that truck sideways, it's just you're not going forward. It's going to cost you a little time. You're going to try the outside now.
Now let's watch and see who has the better line and who can hold the line. And see, again, in the corners is where Flanagan seems to lose it. Now, is that suspension or is that the side bite on the tires?
Well, I think it probably driver more than anything. He's just a little bit frustrated. He goes a little bit deeper, and he just blows his apex. He gets out. This is his mark. Goes out that loose stuff.
Try it again. This is the turn right before the finish line area.
Marty, there isn't one other way. I would say if it were me, I'd be a little more aggressive. I'd drive right in there and I'd have to bang him a couple times and let him know, hey, I want by, pal.
Well, I don't think the rough driving committee would like that too much, Ivan.
We'll worry about that later.
So, tips on safe driving from the Iron Man here on the True Value Off-Road Series as we are continuing this battle for 5th place. Terry Severson holding on to the position over Robert Flanagan. And stay with us. When we come back, we'll take you to the conclusion of this race. Dan Vanden Heuvel is your leader. Don't go away. back in Crandon, Wisconsin for the True Value Off-Road Series. Marty Reid along with Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson in pit lane, and there is your leader, Dan Vanden Heuvel, and he has got control of this race, trying to make it 2 out of 3. Whoa, wait a minute. Robert Flanagan has a tire that has gone off his vehicle on the left side, the left front, and he is dropping out of this race. He was running in 6th place.
Oh, that's a shame. Really, really frustrating to have that happen to you.
Now you see race leader Dan Vanden Heuvel. Now he's changed his line. He's coming down the other side, right along the pit wall.
He probably realized he's got a little bit of a lead, and he's experimenting a little bit, Marty. He's looking at the different parts of the track, I'm sure.
And he has just gotten past the lap traffic of Don Gregoire. Gregoire looks a little worse for the wear there, like maybe he had some contact out of camera range.
Looks like he didn't get that first corner as clean as we thought he did.
So Vanden Heuvel continues to motor on here in the Class 13 non-production pickup race here in Crandon, and doing a wonderful job.
He really is. Appleton, Wisconsin, Dan's from. And he's probably ready to step up into one of the bigger Class 4 trucks someday.
Well,
maybe.
they have run in Class 8 competition in the past, but because of the cost factor, decided to drop back into Class 13. And we've seen a couple of drivers, Dennis Ferdon being another one, who have done that same thing. And there's Dennis. He's coming up on the lap traffic, and he's in 2nd place. And it's paid dividends for them.
That's true.
The lap traffic still not a factor as far as Ferdon. I don't think there's going to be enough time for Dennis to get back in contact with Vanden Heuvel unless Vanden Heuvel has a problem. Whoa, a big spin. That's Darren Vandrell, and look at the tire come off his truck, and the 1341 is literally out of this race.
Well, we had some fire underneath that truck too, Marty, for something.
Well, let's take a look as he spins around. The tire heading straight for the camera position. Luckily does no damage. The white flag is out. The last lap for our leader, Dan Vanden Heuvel.
I'm sure he's keeping an eye on Dennis, and he's just, again, a matter of getting around the racetrack, get back that checkered flag, and collect some points and collect a check.
Vanden Heuvel in control, and again, lap traffic slowing down. 2nd place, Dennis Ferdon. Ferdon having a tough time getting around Don Gregoire. And Gregoire still holding on to the race line, and I'm sure Ferdon's not real happy with that either.
Well, I think he probably settled into 2nd place. Well, you know what I think he'll do is just go ahead and settle for 2nd today and get back to the finish line.
Well, it went this way. Vanden Heuvel won back at Lake Geneva in round number 1. Dennis Ferdon won round number 2 at Inigo. And here in round number 3 at Crandon, it looks like it's going to be Vanden Heuvel again staking claim to the top spot in Class 13. Now, he's got lap traffic coming up in front of him there. That's David Reitz. So we'll have to wait and see if he can maneuver, or maybe he'll just let Reitz finish it out in front, because he's got control of the race. Don't want to do anything stupid.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I see a little bit of smoke out of Dan's truck, but I think he's all right. That truck is just free. I cannot believe how well that truck handles.
The rear end sits so low. Could it be tire rubbing?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think it's the way he's got the truck set. Now, well, now you could be right there. I see the same smoke, Marty.
So Reitz moves over nicely, lets the leader come through, and Dan Vanden Heuvel over the last jump is going to win for the 2nd time in 3 events on the True Value Off-Road Series. He makes the final turn. There is the checkered flag, and your winner, Dan Vanden Heuvel from Appleton, Wisconsin. So when we come back, we'll talk to our winner here in Crandon, Wisconsin, the True Value Off-Road Series, round number 3. Stay with us. Class 13 action here in the True Value Off-Road Series from Crandon, Wisconsin. Dan Vanden Heuvel, the winner. Dennis Ferdon in 2nd. And on down through the top 10. Let's go to Victory Lane, where Rick Johnson is caught up with our winner.
It's been feast or famine. Dan, either a win or a DNF.
Yeah, it's tough. Either you win, you push them so hard to win, something's bound to break sometimes, so you can't win them all.
Well, you've had wins and you've had 1 DNF. What was the key to bring you to Victory Circle this weekend?
A lot of hard work between myself, my brother-in-law, and my family. We put it all together. We came out here for one thing only, and that is to take the checkered flag.
Well, our congratulations also to Dan Vanden Heuvel on his 2nd win of the season. We're getting ready now for another one of the entry-level classes, 11S. And boy, what a bundle of cars that we have in this division.
Marty, they are really revved up. Engines are air-cooled, 1,585 cc, all stock parts, minimum weight about 1,300 pounds, make just about 50 horsepower.
This, as we said, entry level, and there are 31 in the True Value starting field. Dan Baudoux is one of those, and there at Saginaw, Michigan, his home. Mark Oberg in the 1141 Eagle River, Wisconsin, is Mark's home. And 1152 is John Heuvel from Little Chute, Wisconsin. John Wiggins also in the starting field, age 31, from De Pere, Wisconsin. Larry Beyer also in the field. He's from Slinger, Wisconsin, just turning 30 years old. Lonnie Andrews also out there. Lonnie from North Star, Michigan, at the age. And at age 19, Billy Scott from Interlochen, Michigan, also in this 31-car field. And as you look at the rest of the field, pick out your favorite driver and fasten your seatbelts, because this start, you can see how wide our camera has had to go to get everybody who wants to try and get the right angle to head for turn number 1.
Marty, you got to remember, these guys are driving their heart out. They drive just as hard as any other class.
There's the green flag, and we're underway as 31 cars head for turn number 1. Let's sit back and watch. And listen to the crowd. They're loving it already. Oh, little contact there, but everybody survived so far.
Marty, if we get everybody through this first corner, it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Through turn number 1, so far so good. Oh, look close to Parsons Pond. No, the vehicle won't fall. Can't make out a number there.
I think we're going to do it. I see somebody shut off to the left-hand side here, but I think you're going to make it to the first corner here.
All right, Mark Oberg, let's sort it out for you. He has taken the early lead. John Heuvel is in second, and he is closing quickly. Then for third, John Wiggins, Dan Baudoux, and that is a great battle with Glenn Matthews also coming in there as well.
Again, whenever we talk about getting out in the loose stuff, you just can't do that in these little cars. They get out there, they try and make a pass, but they're just not the horsepower to pull them through that loamy soil.
Boy, there is the battle for the lead coming right into view. Mark Oberg and John Heuvel. Oberg in the 1141, Heuvel in the 1152, and right behind him, third, fourth, and fifth. Now, the track seems a little bit on the damp side in some areas, and again, that could play havoc with these guys.
Well, I'm just noticing that, too. What it does, it keeps the dust down, but it also makes it awful slick for these little cars. These guys are going to have a handful for a while and dries out a little bit.
Oberg, as he heads down to the hard left-hand corner, is in control of the race in front of Heuvel, Wiggins, and Baudoux. Now, these guys do get to run twice in a weekend.
Well, that's right, Marty. You get to run this race car 2 times, because if you run this class as single seat, then you run 11D. If there's 2 people in there, double the racing, double the fun.
And it makes your cost effectiveness for this class extremely good.
Boy, look how tight the racing is, too. These guys are going at it, aren't they?
50 horsepower machines, doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. I would dare say you could probably do the whole 10 race series, buy your car for anywhere between $5,000, maybe as much as $10,000 if you really wanted to go hog wild, and you could probably run the whole season for another $3,000, $4,000.
I tell you what, I got started in these tame type of vehicles 20 years ago, and I know how competitive they are, how much fun they are, and it's just great racing. Great entry-level racing.
Well, there is Mark Oberg. He sort of has stretched the lead a little bit over second place John Heuvel, but Wiggins got his hands full for third with Dan Baudoux, and right behind Baudoux is Glenn Matthews.
Good racing, Marty. It's where you got to really, really concentrate to get this car through that corner just as efficiently as you possibly can.
I want to know why Wiggins' vehicle looks so clean compared to the other 2.
Well, he might be staying out of line. Remember we talk about the rocks on the avenue? That's what...
He's done a good job of keeping the paint job clean. Now that is Baudoux. Baudoux in front of Matthews. Baudoux was the winner back in Anago in this class. Whoa, wait a minute. That's Corey Friday. He is in the pits, and they are changing a tire. That is going to set his efforts back quite a bit. And Jerry Christensen Sr. also has a flat right rear, and he's nursing it around the course as well.
That's what this track is noted for. There's some big rocks around here, and it'll definitely give you flat tires. You get one of those upside your head, it can really, really hurt.
This is the battle for the lead. Heuvel has closed down on our leader, Mark Oberg.
He really has. He's coming and taking a different line here. Let's see what he does. He's trying to get inside for a little more speed.
Now remember, no mirrors on these cars. You almost have to feel whether your competitor is right alongside. And boy, right now he can tell because Heuvel is in the lead. Can he hold it? He's on the right side of your screen.
He not only feels it, but he can see him now.
Heuvel and Oberg. Oberg with that fan that sort of blows the dust and dirt away from his face. It's been very effective for him throughout the race season, and he maintains the lead. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll show you the exciting conclusion of this Class 11S race here in Crandon, Wisconsin at the True Value Off-Road Series. Marty, Reid, Ivan Stewart, and Rick Johnson back with you in Crandon, Wisconsin at the True Value Off-Road Series, round number 3. There is our 2 race leaders, and here comes the battle for third. Dan Baudoux on the right, looking to get past John Wiggins. He's got the line heading into turn 2.
He's got the inside line if he doesn't get cut over here.
Wiggins gets out in the loose marbles. Can he hold it? This is a great race. Oh, they touch and no damage yet. Neither one gets launched. Drag race down into the gravel pit. Looks like Wiggins is holding on to the position.
Pitching her sideways. Yeah, I think he's still going to hold it, Marty.
Oh, he's out a little high and then bobbles just a touch. They come around the corner, but he's able to maintain the position.
They're banging. They're touching wheels. No telling what could happen here.
Up over the jump. This is great racing action in Class 11S. This is a battle for third place on the outside. Baudoux tries it again. Remember, Baudoux won at Anago, our last stop. Larry Beyer was our winner back at Lake Geneva. And right now, Baudoux trying to take over third place from John Wiggins.
He's trying different lines, Marty. I like to see that. Instead of a guy trying, just following, he's always trying something new. He's worrying the guy. If he's banging on him a little bit, that's even better yet.
Well, and again, he gets a little sideways. Was that the opening that Baudoux needed? Yes, Baudoux is by. Pressured him into the mistake.
That's right. Exactly what he should have done. He played it just perfect.
So Dan Baudoux has now moved back to third position, but I'm not sure he's got enough time to reel in our 2 leaders. Now, this is something that happened while we were watching that battle for third place. Oh, my goodness, Dave Andrews. Going over 1.5 times.
Marty, I think he just got one tire up on that berm on the inside, just kind of a little bit too tight.
And we can tell you that he is okay. We're back with leader Mark Oberg. And while we were looking at the replay, Mark's brother Mike managed to move into 4th position. Now, this is the battle for 5th with John Wiggins in front of Curtis Gerald and Lonnie Andrews. So Wiggins has got his hands full even more.
These guys are banging on each other. They're going for it, Marty, I'm telling you.
So with just about a lap to go for these guys, maybe a little more than a lap, Wiggins has got his fight for life for 5th place. Coming around the far turn of the gravel pit, and Larry Beyer is the 4th vehicle in there, and Beyer, who won back at Lake Geneva, is currently running in 8th place. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, right there in your screen.
I really like to watch the different lines these guys have. They all have different ideas on how they're going to get by the guy in front of them.
Boy, John Wiggins gets a little wide there, but he's okay because this will be the inside line on this left-hander.
That's right. You lose one corner, you gain on the next.
And while this battle continues, oh no, another flat tire, this one on Ed Holtger's machine.
Well, I tell you, we've seen more flats this race, Marty, we've ever seen in any other racing.
And it's not the tire construction. This course has so many rocks, it beats the death out of you. This is Mark Oberg, and Dan Baudoux. John Heuvel has fallen back. Baudoux has come from 8th position. He has rallied onto the final lap, and he is closing for the race win with Mark Oberg.
Well, I tell you what, Dan has really got serious about it, really made some good moves. He's really, really running.
This is a final lap shootout between Mark Oberg in the 11:41 and 2nd place, Dan Baudoux. Remember, Baudoux won at Anago. He's trying to make it 2 in a row.
Got 2 corners left, so all he got. He got right here to the gravel pit. And one more to the checkered flag.
Oberg, who has led from the beginning of this race. Oh, and he opens the door momentarily, but slams it back shut. One more jump, one more right-hand turn to the checkered flag. Who's going to win the race? Mark Oberg or Dan Baudoux?
Oh,
looks like Oberg.
I don't think he's going to have time to get by him. Dan's not going to be able to make it. Just one more right-hand corner. He's got it right here.
Oberg takes the tight inside line, the smart move. Baudoux tries the up and under. No, it's going to be by a half a car length. Mark Oberg winning a thriller here in Class 11S at the True Value Off-Road Series. What a finish to this great race. We told you it was a driver's championship. It truly is. We're in Crandon, Wisconsin. We'll talk to our winner right after this. Don't go anywhere. Let's take a look at this thrilling finish one more time. Mark Oberg right in front of Dan Baudoux. He opens the door. Baudoux tries to dive underneath and couldn't do it.
It doesn't get any closer to that, Marty.
Mark Oberg, your winner. Dan Baudoux second. John Heuvel held on for third. And Mike Oberg, Mark's brother, in 4th. On through the top 10. Let's go down to Victory Lane where Rick Johnson has caught up with our winner, Mark Oberg.
They may be low on horsepower, but it was high on excitement. Mark Oberg, a great race. How important was that #1 starting spot?
It was very important today. It was a tough race going into the first turn because we're all so evenly matched.
Well, Dan Baudoux was all over you the whole race. He took a couple shots at you. You raced like a champion, and you held off his charge.
It was tough out there. I mean, I seen him the whole time in back of me, and I had to work a lot.
Well, we get ready for our final race of the day, Class 9-10, and this is some high horsepower buggy action and a great field here at Crandon, Wisconsin.
Marty, these guys really fly. Unlimited buggy, co-rider optional, maximum 1,650 cc, about 150 horsepower. These cars really, really run.
17 total vehicles in our Chevrolet starting field from New Lenox, Illinois. Geoff Probst will be one of the cars to beat. Todd Attig. Todd also from Dixon, Illinois in this event as well. Rick Welch from Lancaster, California. He'll be in the number 911. And then the 937 of Randy Eller. Taylorville, Illinois, age 35 is Randy. Jim Struble from Derry, Pennsylvania, age 42. He'll be in the 107. And then there's Tom Schwartzberg. Tom proves there's life after 50. He's from West Bend, Wisconsin. We won't tell his whole age. Jeff St. Peter in the number 912. Jeff from Port Washington, Wisconsin. And here is the rest of the 17-car field. And this is going to be a Donnybrook shootout because, as you mentioned, Ivan, unlimited horsepower. On board with Rick Welch, here we go.
Lightweight, lots of action. 20 fast cars.
Welch with hit, and boy, we talked about the stones, the dirt, the dust, and now we got to go outside, otherwise you're not going to see anything at turn 1. Oh, a couple of cars getting a little high there. Todd Attig, the early leader. Oh, some contact back about 5th or 6th.
They're banging on each other, Marty, as usual.
Scott Schwalbe looks like he has moved into 2nd. Jeff St. Peter is 3rd. And Geoff Probst is in 4th.
Again, we can see the challenge of the track, the dust back there on that first corner. Now we're getting back into the muddy areas. Always the challenge of off-road racing. You never know what's coming up next.
Oh, and look at the top of the hill. That is Dan Baudoux. And remember, Dan just finished 2nd in the 11S race. It looks like he's in some serious trouble here in Class 9-10. There's your leader, Todd Attig. Scott Schwalbe, 2nd. Jeff St. Peter, a close 3rd. Geoff Probst in 4th, right behind. Around what will be the finish line area, the battle for 2nd really heating up. Schwalbe having his hard time with Jeff St. Peter.
Well, as we can see, Marty, the dust in some areas is really bad. Then we got some slick areas in other areas.
On board again with Rick Welch. He's currently running in 13th position. He did not get a good start.
No, he didn't. We saw the mud. In fact, on the lens of the ESPN camera here, we can see it right now. It's just really tough to see in that mud.
And he's having a little bit of problem making that last turn, and we'll get a little bit of a lens cleaning action, but quickly it goes to oblivion.
Marty, that was a great shot right there. That's exactly what goes on your goggles and your helmet. Exactly the same type of mud.
Now you saw Todd Attig. He is in control in 1st place, but the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, Scott Schwalbe, Jeff St. Peter, and Geoff Probst really heating up. And there's Schwalbe getting a little wide, and here comes Jeff St. Peter.
You'll pay for it. You just can't do that. You get out wide, a guy's going to come underneath you, and that's what's going to happen right here, I believe.
Drag race down into the gravel pit. And on the inside, taking the position, that is Jeff St. Peter moving into 2nd.
Outbroke him, just didn't make the mistake. He can't make those. He cannot afford those kind of mistakes in off-road racing.
And now Schwalbe is under attack from Geoff Probst. So the battle for 3rd is still hot and heavy. Probst on the outside. Can he make the pass stick? Not this time.
Geoff has probably got more experience in off-road racing these buggies than anybody in the field. He's done it for years and years and years.
Jim Struble is in 4th place. Back to the battle there for 3rd. Schwalbe trying to hold off Probst. Probst looking inside, looking outside. Back on board with Rick Welch. He's moved up a position or 2 to 11. That is Bill Lefebvre right in front of him as they come under the finish line banner. And again, boy, he's eating a lot of dust.
Boy, a lot of dust, a lot of mud, a lot of rocks. It's tough on a driver, believe me.
Up over that rise. Ooh, hear that stone? That was right up into the camera mount. Now Welch trying to get underneath. Welch too hot, and he spins it. Almost all the way around. Loses contact with Lefebvre. That's costly.
Lost momentum. Here's the engine drop off on RPM. He lost a lot of ground.
Back to our leader, Todd Attig. Remember, he won at Lake Geneva, finished second in this division at Anago, and right now he's in control here at Crandon in round number 3 of the True Value Off-Road Series. As we got to take a few moments to pay the bills. Don't go anywhere. We'll show you the conclusion of the race right after this. In Crandon, Wisconsin for the True Value Off-Road Series. I'm Marty Reid along with Ivan Stewart and Rick Johnson. There is Geoff Probst during commercial. He managed to get around Scott Schwalbe and take over 3rd position. And Jim Struble has also gotten around Schwalbe, and Schwalbe is now in a battle. There you see him with Randy Eller. Eller in 6th trying to get around Schwalbe for 5th, and he is doing it. So Schwalbe's obviously having some problems.
Yeah, no doubt. He's got some kind of a problem with the engine or transmission. It's hard to say. These guys use 4-speed transmissions, so anything could be going on. Maybe even a clutch. So
now Randy Eller is 5th, Scott Schwalbe is 6th, and Don Ponder is in 7th place, right behind Schwalbe. So there you see Schwalbe, and there was Ponder. You got a quick look at him.
Yeah, he's got to be having a problem with Marty of some sort.
So that sets it for you. There is Schwalbe under attack. Ponder on the outside, far to the right, as he is closing now for the position. The vehicles, as we said it for you, Todd Attig is first. Then it is St. Peter. That's Jeff St. Peter right there in 2nd. And we're back on board with Rick Welch. Now Welch coming around that final turn, getting a little outside there.
His motor sounds flat. I believe that Rick's got some kind of an engine that's not performing like it should be, Marty.
Welch currently running in 10th position and closing on 9th and 8th right in front of him. So despite what may not be a full song motor, he's doing quite well. In fact, they're closing. In fact, those two get together, and just that quickly, Rick Welch is in 8th position.
That was close. He almost tagged one of them guys.
Oh, and that's Geoff Probst. He's in 3rd position, but he's slowing.
He's got a problem, Marty. Look at the left front of his car. He's got some kind of suspension.
Oh, yes. You're right, Ivan. The suspension on the left. He has just been passed by Randy Eller. Eller has taken over 3rd position. Eller got around Struble while we were watching Rick Welch on the in-car. So Eller making a great run here, moving up to 3rd place. And Geoff Probst is going south with a very serious suspension problem. Here is Brian Bernlohr. He is in the pits. Brian well back in this race, and this is going to move him back even further out of the top 11, possibly even the top 12.
He's trying to explain something. He's got some kind of problem he's trying to explain to his pit guys.
2 laps to go for Todd Attig to make his 2nd win of the year here in Class 9-10 action. He is in control of the race, has a very big lead over 2nd place, Jeff St. Peter.
I want to make a prediction, Marty, that Todd Attig next year will be in a big truck, one of the 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive trucks.
Well, you heard it first here. Are you going to be sponsoring him?
I didn't say that, Marty.
Well, right now, Todd Attig's definitely making a name for himself in the SOTA World Series of Off-Road Racing. Back on board with Rick Welch one more time. Oh, wait a minute. Wick gets some trouble there. Gets way wide and drops a position. That'll move him back to 9th.
I don't think he did that on purpose. I think he just got a little hot in that corner and got past.
That was Jack Heinlein who just got past him, and he'll have to try and play catch-up. Don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Whoa, and he spins it. He's got a problem. Look at the shock on the left side. Does he have a leaking shock there? Yes.
Yeah, he does. Look at the fluid shooting out. That was
And Brian Bernlohr is getting out of his vehicle, so his day is definitely done. And now we're on the final lap with Todd Attig trying to make it 2 out of 3. He finished 2nd back at Anago and 1 back at Lake Geneva in round number 1. It looks like he's going to do it here, as he's going to make it 2 out of 3 in the first 3 rounds of racing on the True Value Off-Road Series.
Just watching Todd over the last races that I've watched the last few years, he just very seldom makes a mistake. I think he's really ready to move up a little bit.
Well, the team does all its own engine work, and he credits that for being the key, that they just are able to squeak out a little more horsepower and that they have total control over their own program. And right now, he has total control over this entire race as he makes the final turn and looks at the checkered flag. And Todd Attig, for the 2nd time in 3 events, will talk to us in victory lane with Rick Johnson as he takes the win. 2nd place is going to go to Randy Eller, as it looks like he has gotten around Jeff St. Peter. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk with our winner at the True Value Off-Road Series from Crandon, Wisconsin. Today's ESPN Speed World event has been brought to you by Chevrolet. One automotive company has won more races over the last 30 years than anyone else. Genuine Chevrolet. And by Pep Boys. For quality parts, accessories, and service, come to Pep Boys, America's Automotive Supercenter. Well, we'll take a look at the final results here in Class 9-10 action as Todd Attig has won for the second time in 3 events. Randy Eller in second, Jeff St. Peter in third, and you see the list on down through the top 10. Rick Johnson has made his way to victory lane. He's with Todd Attig.
Another convincing win for Todd Attig. You're making it look boring out there.
Yeah, I tell you, the Budweiser and BFG car ran great today. We keep putting them in the winner's circle, and eventually I'd like to get in a truck. We just, you know, that's what we're after. We keep winning these races, and we're ready for a new challenge, and we'd like to get in a truck. Just the sponsorship money isn't quite there yet, but we're working on it. We'll be out there soon.
Well, you're running not just strong, but consistent. With 2 wins now in the series and 1 second place, that's got to feel good for the championship.
Yeah, we're real consistent. We do the same routine when we get back to the shop, and it pays off in the end. I think, as far as finishing these races, if we don't win it, we're right up in our top 3. So that's all we can ask for.
I'll tell you, Marty, what's going to make it interesting for these guys and challenging is the fact that we go from Crandon, Wisconsin, which is the fastest track of the whole series, into Luxembourg. It's going to be tight and twisty. It's going to be great racing, I think, though.
All right, we'll be looking forward to that. Our mobile facilities for the ESPN crew are provided by Van Boxtel RV in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's going to do it for us today. For Ivan Stewart and Rick Johnson, thank you so much for joining us here on the True Value Off-Road Series. We'll see you next time from Luxembourg as we'll be racing again on ESPN Speed World. So long for now, everybody.
ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, today is in Crandon, Wisconsin for the 3rd round of the SOTA World Series of Off-Road Racing. It's the Chevrolet Spring Run. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reid, working alongside with Ivan, the Iron Man Stewart. And if you've been with us through the first 2 rounds, you know that in Class 4, Jed Flannery is trying to make a runaway of the True Value Pro Series Championship. He leads by 14, and he's going for his 8th straight win here on ESPN. But in Class 8, a different story from last year's championship.
Well, I'll tell you what, Marty, that's right. Walker Evans last year at this time wasn't even a contender. Wasn't a factor at all. He had a disastrous season as far as the points championship goes. This year, he got serious. He built a new truck. He's driving hard. He's driving fast. He's leading the championships. He got a 1st and a 2nd. He's tough to beat.
He has got a 10-point lead, to be specific. Now, that also brings us to Class 7S. And for the latest in that division, let's bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Rick Johnson. Rick?
At the opening of the Anago show, Jeff Kincaid said he was going to come out and run up front, and he did exactly that, winning the 7S class. Jeff, you're running strong, you're winning races, and you're consistent. What's the key?
This year we got a new truck through True Value. It's a little lighter, built a little more durable motor in there, and I think all those add up, and it puts me right up front there.
Everybody's got a good truck out there, and everybody's running strong, but what is it that's making Jeff Kincaid run so consistent and so fast and winning races?
Well, I think it's the durability of the race. You got to be there at the end. I like to run right up front there right away and make them chase me, Catch me if you can is what I like to say.
Well, he's winning races. He's consistent. He's got the point lead. He's got the right combination for 7S.
Thanks, Rick. And weather conditions are absolutely ideal. 80 degrees. Humidity's a little on the sticky side, but a nice northwesterly 15-mile-an-hour breeze as we take a look at this layout.
Marty, we talked about the fast tracks. This is the fastest one of all the tracks that we do. Oklahoma Land Rush start. Very important to get down to that first right-hand corner. Fastest corner in all the racetracks we do. Probably 70, 80 miles an hour around there. If you miss that corner, you're going to Parsons Pond.
2 areas that you can pass. The first one being at the gravel pit.
That's right. That's a sharp left-hand corner. We see a lot of pads in there. And then another hairpin back up toward the start-finish line.
And then the long straightaway on the backstretch leading to the final turn, the other key passing zone.
That's exactly right, Marty. Those are the key areas for getting around this racetrack, and the passing points are the most critical.
And if you can't pass, you can't win, because this is absolutely the fastest layout on the tour, 2 miles in length, and we're ready now for Class 8 action. Let's set up the True Value Pro Points Championship as it stands right now. Walker Evans with a 10-point lead over Scott Taylor. Scott Douglas and Dave Hawkers tied for 3rd. Jimmy Crowder and John Conitzer tied for 5th. There you see the rest of the top 10 as Brian Donlevy, Jamey Flannery, his brother Jed, and Darren Vandrell round out the top 10 in the True Value Pro Series. Now Now you're looking at the onboard camera with Scott Taylor. That's out the back of his B.F. Goodrich Racing Ford. And tell us what Class 8's all about, Ivan.
Marty, these are two-wheel drive production pickups. Engines 600 to 800 cubic inches, make about 500 to 850 horsepower. Minimum weight 3,700 pounds.
And here is the Chevrolet starting field. Walker Evans will be on board his Dodge. He is the current points leader, number 2. Right behind him by 10 is Scott Taylor. He'll be in the Ford. Then another of the Dodge contingent, Scott Douglas. He'll be in the number 807. Dave Hockers, a member of the Ford team. He'll be in the number 802. Jimmy Crowder's another member of the Ford contingent. He'll be in the 837. And then Jed Flannery, part of the Chevrolet Army, he'll be driving the 812. His brother, Jamey Flannery, will be in another of the Chevrolets. There you see him there with the rest of the starting field. And again, this start all important.
Marty, let me tell you about it. We talk about Oklahoma Land Rush. You look at the herd of trucks we've got here. We have got a bunch of them.
And the green flag drops, and we are underway here at Crandon in the Chevrolet Spring Run. And hold on, we're just going to sit back and survive turn 1.
Oh, that's close.
Oh, up and over. That is Jed Flannery, as he is still going, Ivan.
Marty, he's only lost 2 positions, I believe, right there.
The first time that we've seen anybody roll and keep moving at that rate of speed. And as you said, he only lost 2 positions. Walker Evans is the leader. Scott Douglas appears to be in second place right now as they make their way down towards the gravel pit. Oh, no, and that's Jamey Flannery's high center.
Yeah, he got way too fast at turn 1 there, or turn 2, rather. He came up.
Take a look at this again. Walker cuts over, and it looks like Jamey gets into Jed with a little assist from Walker Evans.
He just came up and bumped that berm, and that's what it does. But you know, Marty, these trucks are designed to get upside down.
Take a look at it again here. There is Walker Evans, and there's the tail end of the flip.
We say a lot of times in racing that cars have roll cages in case they get upside down. Off-road racing, we know it's going to happen.
Out of the final turn, onto the front straightaway for the second time. It's Walker Evans, Scott Douglas, and Scott Taylor. And Taylor taking a different line.
Look at the line he's taking over. Obviously, he thinks that's a quicker line, and it looks like he may have gained some ground there, Marty.
There is first, second, and third. 2 Dodgers and a Ford. Walker Evans, Scott Douglas, and Scott Taylor. And boy, look at the damage from that collision in the very first turn on Scott Douglas's right side.
Scott Douglas got something tore off beside. And remember, he has all of his oil and pressure pumps and all those things are in that area. So I also see smoke coming from there, Marty. Let's watch that.
And trying to make a dive on the inside. Scott Taylor, he takes a look but can't do it. And you're right, a lot of smoke. And now we're on board. And there goes Scott Taylor around Scott Douglas.
He got by him. I got a feel that Scott may have. Boy, that's a great shot out of the back there.
As he came over the jump, this is the final turn where it'll set you up to the finish line. There you see what will be the finish line of the race. And now it is Walker Evans first, Scott Taylor second, Scott Douglas third. That's exactly how they are in the points championship heading into this race.
Well, I tell you, Walker Evans is serious about this points championship, Marty. He hasn't won it in the Midwest, and he wants it in the worst way.
And you see the damage on Walker's right side of his vehicle, which shows where he got into Scott Douglas, who in turn got into Jed Flannery in that first turn crash.
Well, I tell you what, though, Scott Taylor is not going to let him get away.
Great racing action here at Crandon. Speeds up over 100 miles an hour on the straightaway. That is Chuck Brandon. He's got big problems.
He's got major problems. He got an axle coming loose, maybe a flat, and he's also got an engine problem, Marty.
So Chuck's day looks like it's going to be coming to a very quick end. Boy, you're right. Look at that right rear. It looks like just the flat. The axle seems to be okay.
Yeah, the axle's fine. He's just down the wheel.
Dave Hocker's currently in 4th place as he makes his way down through. Oh, getting a little sideways there, locking up the left front. And here it is, back to the lead pack. It has dwindled to 2. Scott Douglas is losing ground. It's Walker Evans through turn 2, and the Ford of Scott Taylor right behind him.
He might be gaining just a little on Scott Taylor, but watch him, very little.
Tremendous racing action up front here. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll show you the conclusion of the Class A Championship at the Chevrolet Spring Run. Walker Evans is your leader. Marty, Reid, Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson is in pit lane, and this is Class 8 racing action. as we have got a great battle for the lead going on.
Notice Scott Taylor's changed his line again. I think he might be gaining on Walker.
He gained on him. He's passed him. We're looking out the back of Scott Taylor, and there you see Walker Evans in second place. So the pass worked.
He found the right line through that area. There's a lot of moguls through there. Boy, I tell you what, he found a great line.
Walker looked to the inside through turn 2, and boy, it hung him out to dry. Oh, boy, both of them got high there on that corner.
He did, yeah. Walker's especially way out of the loose stuff. He might be having some kind of a problem.
He is falling back. They're heading down into the gravel pit area. This is a huge 180-degree corner. Sets you up for this big jump coming the other way. And, boy, look how far out Walker is.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to predict he's having some sort of a steering problem or something, it looks like, Marty. He's not going like he was for sure. He's not going as hard as he was earlier.
And here comes Scott Douglas closing on Walker Evans. So the two Dodges may be battling it out for second place momentarily. Scott Taylor is in first. He needs to score points. He trails Walker Evans in the True Value Pro Point Series by 10. Boy, this truck looks like it's taking a pounding.
Boy, it is. There's all those equipment inside there. You can see that that's the oil pump, what have you.
Looks like a broken spring, and that is Chuck Brand's truck. So he is now out of the race. That wheel has fallen off. Back to Scott Taylor, our leader. Look at the crowd here at Crandon, watching and enjoying this Class 8 race. Uh-oh, little smoke out of his. It looks like he may have a broken radiator.
Yeah, he's got some heat coming out of the radiator. He doesn't have too many laps to go. He might be able to make this, Marty.
So Scott Taylor also developing a potential problem. Now remember, he was following Walker there in the early go and may have taken a lot of mud into the front end of that vehicle.
Now keep in mind, a lot of these guys are using radio, so if his crew is telling him that Walker's falling back, Scott Douglas isn't pressuring him, he can slow down a little bit and save that motor.
And he does have a very big lead over second place right now. Can he hold on to it? Green flag is still out.
Boy, that is worrisome, let me tell you. You start seeing, Walker's out.
Walker Evans slowing down. This will hurt him in the points championship. He leads by 10. Now remember, there's 20 points to the winner of each race, 16 for second, 14 for third. Now Walker looks like he's getting back out. So let's go down to pit side with Rick Johnson and Randy Anderson.
Walker was running strong in the beginning of the race, and all of a sudden his speed just started to taper down worse and worse. Now he's just trickling around. What's going on?
I think we lost the torque converter. It's not running hot. She's just slipping, and we don't know. This is Crandon for you. A lot of horsepower, a lot of traction. We lost the torque converter today, it looks like.
Marty, that's, I thought maybe it was a steering problem, but torque converters, as Randy said, is a big factor here. They generate lots of heat, and it is really hard on those transmissions.
Boy, I'll tell you, there is new second place, Scott Douglas. Looks like he's been through a war. Most of that happened in that very first turn accident. Walker is back out there. He's trying to keep going just to score points, and he gets passed by Dave Hawkers.
He's probably trying to get the transmission to cool down. They get extremely hot, over 300 degrees. He's trying to get the temperature down. Maybe it'll start working. At least make enough, get enough traction to get on around a track. It doesn't look like it, though, Marty.
Points are points, and boy, they are critical. Now, Dave Hawkers has moved up into third place, so he is doing very well right now. And this will help him in the points championship. We're going to have a great battle as we are down to the last lap with 3 rounds of racing to go after the midway point in the True Value Pro Point Series. Scott Taylor, boy, he's nursing it. It sounds sick.
It does. It sounds bad. He's really looking hard for that finish line. He's just praying right now, come on, baby, just get me home.
Scott Douglas is closing. We can tell you he's not in camera view yet, but he is closing down on Scott Taylor. And boy, the steam is really pouring.
Anytime you see that steam come out the exhaust pipe down there, we got major problems. Ooh, that sounds bad, Marty, really bad.
He has got this jump and one turn yet to complete to take the checkered flag. Boy, look at how slow he is. Where is Scott Douglas? I don't think he's going to be up. There he is in the back. He will not have enough time to get around. One more lap and he would have been able to do it, but here will be the checkered flag as Scott Taylor limps home to take the win here at the Chevrolet Spring Run. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk to our winner and we will update the True Value Pro Point Series standings. Don't go anywhere, as Scott Taylor has done a great job here in our first race at the Chevrolet Spring Run. Back at the Chevrolet spring run. Taking a look at the final results, Scott Taylor, Scott Douglas first and second, Dave Hawkins in third, Walker Evans able to limp home in fourth, and that's going to make the points battle interesting. Let's go to Ivan Stewart in victory lane with our winner.
Well, I tell you, Scott Taylor, that you didn't get a fantastic start. Not a bad start, but it worked out for you.
I got a lousy start today, but I thought with a couple of laps of wet ground and wet track, I'll pick my time to pass and really start pushing the pressure on, and that's what I did. I went with my strategy I thought about last night, and I told all my guys, and I said, I'm going to stand on the gas today. Walker's in my sights.
You really did. You know, you have one DNF, and you got 2 firsts. You're in the points race. We thought maybe you were going to fall out, but you're looking pretty good now.
Yeah, we're starting to come back around. We had a couple little problems that we had to dial in, and it was with some transmission and torque converters and coolers and all that stuff. You know, you've been there. And now we've got it. We feel real confident about it. We've got a lot of backing behind us, Ford Motor Company and all the rest of the associate sponsors with the BF Goodrich Tires and Haviland and all of them. And it's all really coming together, Ivan.
Let's take a look at the True Value Pro Series standings in Class 8, and it has tightened up dramatically. Walker Evans now leads only by 2 over Scott Taylor. On down through the list, you can see John Conitzer, Jimmy Crowder, Jed and Jamey Flannery, and Chuck Brand rounding out the top 10. As we now get ready for Class 4 action, and you're on board with Jack Flannery as he is attempting to win his 8th straight race on ESPN. And here is the way the True Value Pro Series standings shape up right now, as Jack is 2 for 2, scoring a perfect 20 points. He leads Greg Gerlach by 14, Kevin Probst in third. And one of the newcomers there, Steve Kelly from the West Coast, making a statement at the last round with 12 points in 8th place. He is in this field as well.
Marty, these are the 4-wheel drives. We should have more acceleration with these trucks. They should get down to that corner a little bit quicker than those 2-wheel drive big Class 8s. These are 4-wheel drive production pickups, engines 600 to 800 cubic inches, 500 to 850 horsepower again. Weight equals 8 pounds per cubic inch.
And let's set the Chevrolet starting field for you. He is the points leader, 2 for 2. Jack Flannery in the number 435. Greg Gerlach will be in the number 402. That's a Dodge. Kevin Probst in another Chevrolet. He'll be in the number 499. Geoff Dorr, he's one of the Ford contingent. He'll be in number 400. And then Jeff St. Peter, number 412, another member driving a Ford. And Steve Kelly will be a part of the Dodge contingent. He'll be in the number 413. Here's a look at the rest of the starting field, and it's good to see Linda Lou Schlamm back in the field because we've missed her the first 2 rounds of racing. And on down through Ken Kincaid, Jeff Holker, and Jim Latiga. Latiga makes a long tow from the East Coast in Connecticut. Now the green flag has dropped. We're on board with Jack Flannery. Turn 1, critical.
Well, look at the acceleration of Jack Flannery's truck. Heading down, he got to be doing 110 miles an hour, Marty.
And he is first through the corner into turn number 1. As Flannery out early, he is 2 for 2, as we talked about, and going for his 8th straight win over the last 2 years.
Everybody gets through clean. That's good. They're all through that corner. There's no contact whatsoever.
So right now, you see Jack Flannery already starting to open up a very big lead over Ken Kincaid, and then it looks like Steve Kelly and Greg Gerlach back and forth. And somebody has got to step up and stop Jack Flannery at this race, or he's going to get control of the points lead and run away.
That's exactly right. And I'll tell you what, there's 2 or 3 guys who can do it. Greg Gerlach, for one, has been very, very consistent to put the pressure on. Steve Kelly possibly to get their truck dialed in.
Ken Kincaid starting to reel in Jack Flannery. Greg Gerlach back there as well, battling with Steve Kelly. But Flannery right now, boy, look at that horsepower.
You know, Jack Flannery, this is his hometown. He's got a tremendous amount of confidence. He tests on this track. He knows the track. He's just tough to beat.
Flannery, wait a minute. Flannery sounds like he's slowing down. Could it be for the first time in 8 races, Jack Flannery is going to be beaten?
Yeah, he's got a problem, there's no doubt about that. The engine falls off and then comes back up. Just got passed.
And there goes Ken Kincaid around Jack Flannery. When was the last time you saw Jack Flannery eating someone's dirt?
You just don't see that very often, Marty, let me tell you. He's got a problem. That engine just fell off and then it came back to life again. Now it's back running.
Around the last turn, on the front straightaway again, and it sounds weak.
It's rough. It's real, real rough.
And this has been the one thing Jack Flannery has had all throughout the last 2 seasons, dating back to last year when he won the championship, was reliability.
That's exactly right. But you never... Boy, that thing is really hitting hard. I hear it banging.
He is in second place right now, trying to close up. And boy, look at the mud that he just took into the onboard camera system. So Ken Kincaid in front of Jack Flannery. Kincaid, 32 years old, from Spooner, Wisconsin. And this is a major event. Somebody other than a Jack Flannery leading a race.
Boy, let me tell you about it. And he's got the horsepower back. He's going to drive underneath.
That is the gravel pit section. It's going to be a drag race back to the jump. And it looks like first over will be Jack Flannery.
Well, you know what can happen once in a while, Marty, and it may be happening to Jack Flannery. The ignition may be getting wet. Nope.
Boy, Ken Kincaid comes right back and takes the lead again. So a great battle going on in Class 4. And Kincaid pulls away from Flannery.
As I say, I think possibly he might be getting the ignition wet and then it dries out.
And then he gets way wide. Kincaid gets very wide, giving Flannery the open door, and Flannery retakes the lead.
Even without the horsepower, you just don't see Jack Flannery make those kind of mistakes. Kincaid got way wide there, and that really opened the door up.
So now Jack Flannery back in control of this race, at least for the moment. Look at the gap that he's starting to open up. Kincaid must have a big problem. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Flannery again. Boy, that truck does not sound right yet.
It looked like he was coasting there.
And it is dead in the water. Jack Flannery slowing. That is his pit crew, and you can see the frustration on their faces. They're looking back towards that last turn. Here comes Ken Kincaid into pit lane. So the men who are leading this race and battling for it, Kincaid's got a flat right rear, and that means Steve Kelly is your new leader. And there's the battle for second, Greg Gerlach and Geoff Dorr. Oh, and who's that going up in smoke? That's Jim Latiga.
Latiga has got a major problem with that engine, let me tell you about it.
And it may be a long tow back to North Franklin, Connecticut for Jim Latiga. There is your leader, Steve Kelly. Now, one driver who is missing from today's race is Chad Schluter. Unfortunately, there was an accident yesterday, and it involved Chad Schluter's truck. And unfortunately, we must pass along some very sad news. Mark Rose was killed in that accident. He was riding with Chad. He was a publisher and a writer for Off Road magazine. Every driver racing here this weekend participated in a parade lap in honor of Mark this morning. Mark, a friend of all of us here in the off-road racing community, the first death in the 25-year history of the spring run. Mark, we'll miss you. And Stewart and Rick Johnson back with you at the Chevrolet Spring Run, and the battle for the lead has heated up. That's Steve Kelly and his Dodge leading the Ford of Geoff Dorr.
And I'll tell you what, Geoff Dorr is really closing up on Steve Kelly.
And right behind him, coming into view there, you see the smoking Jim Latiga. He's still hanging on to fourth place. Greg Gerlach in third.
But you know what he's doing is that smoke is coming and going, so it may not be a big factor for Jim.
So he is still in the hunt. It may not be a long tow to North Franklin after all. Back to the battle for the lead.
I'll tell you, Marty, Geoff Dorr's got a lot of experience on this racetrack, and he's looking for a spot right now. He's all over Steve Kelly.
They head down and back onto the front straightaway. Now, this is strategy. Who's going to win the drag race?
Steve Kelly on the left, Geoff Dorr on the right. Now, this is where your experience comes in. Geoff Dorr wants all four wheels on the ground, and he's got them. He's got the pass right there, Marty.
So Geoff Dorr takes the lead in Class 4 action here at the Chevrolet Spring Run. Kelly trying to reel him back in. It's Ford versus Dodge at this point. And Geoff Dorr scrambling to try and cut into that lead of Jack Flannery's. This is the biggest opportunity that he is going to have all season long to do the job, and he is stretching his lead now. And the question is, can Greg Gerlach, who came into this race in second place, close down as well? There is Gerlach with his hands full for third place with Jim Latiga, and Latiga's smoke is gone.
It looks like it's put smoke in, and they're having a good race back here, although they're quite a ways back, Marty.
That's Dodge versus Chevrolet, as Latiga trying to get around and gets a little loose there through the gravel pit. This is Latiga's best effort of the year so far as he comes over the jump, and look at the, oh no, the tire has come off on the right rear.
Well, that thing is completely busted off, Marty. I think it just broke right off.
And Latiga, the whole wheel assembly is gone.
Yeah, that's really unusual. Sometimes the lug nuts will come off, but this just snapped right off, it looked like.
Boy, look at the way it just flies off. Luckily, nobody behind him. And Jim Latiga, who was running so well in fourth place, is now out of this race. And Geoff Dorr is in complete control, because we just found out that while we were looking at the replay, Steve Kelly has broken down. So Greg Gerlach has now moved into second place, and this creates an interesting scenario in the points championship. If the race were to end right now, we would have a tie for the points lead, and guess who it would be? It would be Geoff Dorr and Greg Gerlach. Jack Flannery would move all the way to third.
This is where it pays off. You just continue to finish and finish, Marty.
There's Gerald Foster in third, and he has got a tire going down on the right rear.
Yes, he does, Marty. That's really tough to get around those corners with a flat tire, I tell you.
Now this is the battle for sixth. That is Roy Stack, Scott Schmitt, and Mark Seiler. These guys got a great race going on back there as they make their way around the course. That is Roy Stack in his fourth, trying to hold on. Final lap. The white flag is out for this man, Geoff Dorr, and he is on the verge of making his own history, snapping Jack Flannery's 7-race winning streak here on ESPN.
That's got to be a great feeling. You know, he's raced so many times with Jack, and Jack keeps beating him, and now he said, by golly, I'm going to get to the finish line first.
Yeah, it'd be sort of like somebody beating you in the desert right now.
I wouldn't like it.
Yes, Ivan doing very well in the Score Off-Road Desert Series, winning, what, 3 in a row?
3 in a row, Marty.
Well, right now, Geoff Dorr is making it 1 in a row. He's taken the first step as he takes the Class 4 championship here at the Chevrolet Spring Run in Crandon, Wisconsin. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk to our winner. I bet you will be able to see the smile all the way to Green Bay. The Chevrolet Spring Run, and taking a look at the final results, it's almost one of those cases where it's not who you see on the board, it's who you do not see. Jack Flannery does not score any points, and it will affect the championship. Let's go to Victory Lane.
Well, Geoff, you didn't have a fantastic race up at Lake Geneva, but I tell you what, you put it on him here.
Yeah, this is a good run for us. We're real happy with it. The trouble at Lake Geneva was real unusual, but that's what happens.
We talk about tire selection, and we talk about tire grooving. The start of the race is so critical. You didn't get a great start even, but it came back to you.
Yeah, you know, it's so busy on the start of this thing, but you got to be a little bit careful going into the turns, you can see, and I said, well, we'll weed them out. You know, maybe there's a truck up there I can pass one at a time and keep going through them. And the power we get out of this SBO motor, you know, I pulled them through it at the end.
Take a look at the True Value Pro Series Championship. A new leader, co-leaders in fact. Geoff Dorr and Greg Gerlach with their first and second place finish are now tied, and they lead Jack Flannery by 2 points. So it is really coming down to a showdown with 3 races remaining on the series schedule. And here we are back at the starting line as Class 7S is getting ready for racing action here in Crandon, Wisconsin. Let's take a look now at the Class 7S True Value Pro Series standings. And Jeff Kincaid with a 10-point lead over Art Schmitt. Tom Hockers and Jimmy Crowder are tied for third. You can see the rest of the top 10. This is going to be a very important race for everyone to try and catch Jeff Kincaid. And wait a minute, that is Jeff Kincaid's Ford, and the hood is off. And let's see if Rick Johnson, he's down there, if he can get word with Jeff.
Jeff, a little trouble getting the car started. What seems to be the trouble?
The ignition, I think the ignition's giving up on it. I don't know for sure, though. We're checking it.
Oh, this has got to be so frustrating. Here's what 7S is all about.
Oh, that really is, Marty. 2-wheel drive, production mini truck or mid-side truck, 4 cylinders, maximum 2.5 liters. These trucks make about 200 horsepower.
And we'll see if Jeff Kincaid can make the Chevrolet starting field. This would be devastating. If he doesn't, he would not score any points. Art Schmitt in his Nissan will also be out there. Tom Hockers, those guys, yeah, he's got a smile on his face, especially if Kincaid doesn't start. Jimmy Crowder, he'll be in one of the Fords, the number 747, all the way from Tallahassee, Florida. John Greaves, his story this year, he either wins or he breaks, and he's been pretty good at winning. Scott Taylor in the 700, that's the BF Goodrich Ford. Here is the rest of the starting field on down through the pack, and we're still waiting to see if Kincaid can make this start.
Marty, that just worries you to death. I'll tell you what, even if the truck runs now he's going to be worrying the whole race, is it going to let me down again?
So there is the starting field stretched out in its entirety. Here we are on board with the Nissan of Art Schmitt, and it does not look like Jeff Kincaid is going to make the start of this race. That is him pulling off way in the middle of your screen.
Oh, Marty, that is an absolute shame to have that happen to you.
Now the question will be, who will seize the moment? It happened in Class 4. Jack Flannery not scoring any points and losing his points lead, and Art Schmitt takes the early lead.
Marty, remember, these guys don't have quite the horsepower, so they've got to find that hard ground. They've got to stay down there, get that truck right down on the ground, and really, really look for that good hard passage. Johnny Greaves got the lead right here.
The Toyota John Greaves. Look at the rock kick up onto the hood. of Art Schmitt in his Nissan down the straightaway that heads towards the gravel pit. Boy, listen to those rocks.
They are. This track is noted for that. A lot of people don't know that, but these rocks are big here. They hurt when they hit you. You can hear them hitting the car.
Through the gravel pit turn, back up onto the big jump that leads back to the finish line area. They do not catch quite as much air as the big Class 8s and Class 4s, but still plenty of close, exciting racing action.
And that's why it's so important. You see how Johnny gets that car through the corner just as efficient as he can. He's so good at that, throwing the car around and getting them through the corner just as quick and efficient as he possibly can with that small amount of horsepower.
Boy, John Greaves won at Lake Geneva, came back with a DNF at Anago, and now finds himself in that position of everybody wondering, will he win or will he break?
That's exactly right, Marty. He's always been fast, always in the front of the pack until something happens.
Well, last year was just a total disaster for him, and he came out of the box firing at Lake Geneva, and then he had an overheating problem at Anago when there was a lot of mud kicked up into his radiator. Now, back in third, there you see Mike Burke and Jimmy Crowder. They are battling for position, and then Billy Beck is in fifth. Scott Taylor is in sixth. And talk about dismal years in Class 7S. Defending champion Scott Taylor is basically out of the running for the championship after 2 races.
That's really unusual for Scott. He has a tremendous amount of experience and understands these tracks, and he's just falling back here.
Little dust kicked up. There is the battle for third. That's Crowder on the right, and he is going to take the position. Jimmy Crowder is now in third place around Mike Burke.
It's interesting. All the guys in Class 7 have gone to the left of the track back there in that Oklahoma Land Rush start area. That must be a little bit harder ground, what they're looking for.
Boy, take a look at it. There's Crowder and Burke just coming into view, and then behind them, the battle continues when there's Scott Taylor.
Yeah,
so Taylor's just not been able to get that Ford this year for some reason to the front.
He hasn't. I'm not sure exactly what his problem is. He gets back in the back of the pack, and once you get hung up back here, it's really hard to get by these guys, Marty. He's just not getting good starts.
So as they head down into the gravel pit turn, look at how damp it is in that corner. Little water there, and boy, with two-wheel drive, it can have havoc as you get through. In fact, there on the outside, that looked like Billy Beck as he gets passed by Scott Taylor.
Scott's got a little bit of smoke, too. He may not be making the horsepower we've been used to seeing out of that truck, too, Marty.
Back on board with Art Schmitt as he tries to reel in race leader John Greaves. And here's a battle for fourth position. That is Mike Burks being pressured by Scott Taylor.
And he's getting pinched off again. No, he's going to get underneath him. This is why I say it's really hard to get by. But he bangs him a little bit and goes on by.
Yeah, just a gentle nudge saying, Mike, I'm here and I'm going by. So Scott Taylor controls fourth place. This could be his best run of the season so far. John Greaves, Art Schmitt, and Jimmy Crowder, your top 3 at the Chevrolet Spring Run. Stay with us. Marty, Reid, Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson is in pit lane. There is your leader, the second vehicle in your shot. That is John Greaves in his Toyota, about to put Brendan Gaughan a lap down.
Brendan Gaughan from Las Vegas, Nevada, has a tremendous amount of desert experience, but he just hasn't got a lot of experience here on the short course, Marty.
There's Art Schmitt. Brendan has had some pit time, and there he is going a lap down now as he gives way to the race leader. And that's a nice gesture.
That was a nice gesture. It really was to do that. Didn't have to do that, but he did move out of the way. That was great.
And there is second place. So now you get a gap of about, a dozen truck lengths. So it looks like John Greaves is taking command of this race. Now on board as Brendan Gaughan again is about to be passed as we head down into the final turn. You're on board the Nissan of Art Schmitt. Can't do it there. He can't dive under him. He shouldn't get him here on the straight.
Brendan pulled over for him there. Art's going to go down this left-hand lane and see he should be able to get by Brendan.
Just sit back and ride.
Marty, it's really interesting to watch attack and listen to the engine and the tires as they hit the ground. It really, really jerks the suspension.
Down through turn 1, Art Schmitt trying to reel in the leader. Here is Scott Taylor trying to reel in Jimmy Crowder for third place. So Taylor making his best run of the year in Class 7S action. And he looks like he's going for it.
He's serious, Marty. You know, Jimmy Crowder's a tough guy to get by.
This is the battle for third. They head down. That is a very steep drop-off there into that dip. And then you have to have the horsepower to climb back up the hill. Here is race leader John Greaves. And the white flag is out. He has 1 lap remaining. So it looks like the feast or famine fortunes of Johnny Greaves are going to continue here as he wins the first race, DNFs the second, and is on the verge. Oh, no. And Scott Taylor is in the pits. Let's go to pit lane and Rick Johnson.
Scott, what happened? You're in early.
I don't know. Something let go on the back straightaway. Oil light come on, and or something went bang, and the oil light came on, and that's where we're at. We don't know what it is. Oil pressure was good. Temperatures were getting up a little high, and I don't know. We might have punched a radiator. I don't know what's wrong. Something happened.
So Scott Taylor has had the same misfortunes this year that John Greaves had last year.
Once you get that black cloud hanging over you, Marty, it's tough to get rid of it. That's what Scott's got, that little black cloud on him.
Well, here is the Feast and Famine kid, and it looks like it's going to be feast for the second time in 3 races, as Johnny Greaves is going to take the checkered flag to win here in the Class 7S Championship of the Chevrolet Spring Run here in Crandon, Wisconsin. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk to our race winner, and we'll update the point standings in the True Value Pro Points Series. Don't go away.
Tires are really working out here, and you know, and the Toyota's the best truck in the market right now, and we're going to show them that. But, you know, I ran into a lot of flaws last year, and we spent a lot of time over the winter, and we got it dialed, so I'm looking forward to a good season.
I was a little bit surprised, and I don't know if you were surprised, that Art Schmitt was so strong off the start. Plus, he held with you pretty well. I was really kind of amazed, but it's only his 3rd race in Class 7, that he was as strong as he was.
Yeah, he is strong. You know, Art's been a good driver in everything he's been in, and he's got a hell of a good truck under him, and I knew he was going to be a contender, and he was, and I would have liked to put more time between us, but I couldn't do it.
Taking a look at the True Value Pro Points Series Championship, Jeff Kincaid drops to 4th, but look at this. Art Schmitt leads John Greaves by 2. Jimmy Crowder's in 3rd with 37. And there you get a glimpse at the remainder of the top 10. Brendan Gaughan slips from 5th down to a tie for 8th. Now, we showed you earlier on the onboard camera systems just how much mud and stones get thrown up into the driver's faces. Well, Ivan took some time earlier to go behind the scenes and take a look at how these guys protect their vision. Ivan?
One of the biggest problems these guys have on these short tracks is visibility, being able to see. Traveling 80, 90 miles an hour, rocks, mud being thrown up in their face. Remember, there's no windshield, and the trucks are literally feet in front of them. Let me show you some of the top drivers use. This is Scotty Taylor's helmet. Scotty uses just a closed-face helmet, takes a rag with him, and just wipes this shield off as it gets dirty. This is Johnny Greaves' helmet. Johnny uses what we call tear-offs. These little sheets right here, when they get filled up with mud, he just pulls it away and goes to the next one. The latest technology, Geoff Dorr's helmet here, they use what they call a clear ray. It's a little electric motor on this side that reels these clear sheets across his helmet, across his face. When it fills up, he just hits this button. Clean shield. I think if I were racing out here, this would be the helmet I would choose.
Wait a minute. He's the Iron Man. You don't use any helmet.
Give me the sunglasses. All I need.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, here we go. We're getting ready for the Manufacturers Production Challenge, and there are some trucks that aren't going to make it. Let's go to Rick Johnson.
A lot of interesting things have happened. Walker Evans blew a transmission. They've changed it. He's ready to roll. Scott Taylor blew a head gasket 2 laps from the end of Class 8. They've changed the complete motor. He's ready to race as well. Jack Flannery had some ignition problems. He had to drop out of Class 4. They've changed that, done some fine-tuning on the fuel injection. He's ready to race. Kevin Probst, on the other hand, blew a motor. He doesn't have a spare. He's not going to make that Manufacturer's Challenge.
Rick, thanks for the update. This is what the Manufacturer's Challenge is all about. Production pickup, 2- or 4-wheel drive. Must conform to the class rules and must have competed in a class race.
So as we get ready for the Chevrolet starting field, the big happy smile on Geoff Dorr. He won in Class 4. Scott Taylor will be back behind the wheel of his Ford in the number 800. And Jack Flannery looking to avenge his loss in Class 4 in front of his hometown audience. Scott Douglas in the Dodge. He'll be in the 807. Also in the field, Jerry Bundy in the number 316, as well as Walker Evans, looking to come back to avenge what was a disappointing finish for him in Class 8 action.
Well, Marty, as we look at the rest of the field, this has always been the big race, the Manufacturer's Challenge, 2-wheel drive versus 4-wheel drive. If it's a dry track, the 2-wheel drive is going to have the advantage. 19 trucks in this field. The guy that gets down to that first corner first, especially in 2-wheel drive, is going to have an advantage.
Well, we're ready for the start of this race, and you said it, 19 vehicles. Turn 1 doesn't have enough room for all 19.
No, it doesn't, Marty. They're off.
Green flag flies, and we are underway here in the Manufacturers Production Challenge in Crandon, Wisconsin. Sit back. We'll hold on with you. So far, far, so good. Can everybody make it through? It looks like we're going to survive turn 1.
Boy, I tell you what, that's amazing to get all those trucks through there in that corner, believe me.
Jack Flannery has the lead. Second place is Walker Evans, and it looks like son Jamey Flannery is in third. Now, you're on board with Scott Taylor, and Scott did not get a good start.
He did not again. Jamey did get a very good start. I was really surprised with that.
Taylor well back in the pack as he is about 13th at this point.
Boy, you can see now, the problem that Scott Taylor's going to have is the mud, the dirt, everybody's in his way, so you just got to get a start here at this track.
There goes Flannery, father, then Walker Evans, son Jamey. There is the 413 of Steve Kelly, then Geoff Dorr, and then Scott Douglas. So there you see the top 6, and boy, I'll tell you, Jack has got that thing fixed, and it's running.
He does. That's four-wheel drive, and I tell you what, he does know how to get around this racetrack.
On board with Walker Evans, you're looking back at third place out the back of his Dodge. So Jamey Flannery is closing on Walker a little bit.
Jamey's doing a good job. You know, he's a young driver. He's aggressive. He's really, really, really doing well.
Look at the rooster tail of dirt thrown up by Walker Evans on that fast straightaway. Now you're on board out the front of Jack Flannery Chevrolet down that long front straightaway. Let's go along for the ride.
Oh, Marty, you've got a miss. Can you hear it?
Does sound like it's not as sweet a song. Oh, and Scott Douglas is spun back at the entry to the front straightaway.
I couldn't see what happened, if somebody bumped him or he got sideways. I couldn't tell exactly what happened there.
There's the battle for fourth place, Steve Kelly and Geoff Dorr. They went at it in the Class 4 race. They're going after each other again. Down through turn 2. Kelly looks a little high, but he manages to close down.
Kelly keeps missing the line there. Geoff Dorr knows that he's got to get underneath him.
On that drop-off there into the straightaway that leads you down into the gravel pit. And it looks like Kelly gets on the brakes a little bit earlier.
He is. He's braking early, and like I say, Geoff Dorr's been around this track some. Here he's going to just get underneath him. Hopefully he's not going to get by him.
So Kelly over the jump, followed closely by Dorr. This is a great battle for fourth place on the racetrack around what will be the final turn and the finish line area. And Steve Kelly controls fourth place for another lap.
Really frustrating to be back where Jeff's at now because these rocks, these four-wheel drive cars that Steve Kelly drives is throwing a tremendous amount of rocks out.
This is the battle. There is Scott Douglas. He's in 8th place trying to track down Mark Seidler, and he is in 7th. And Seidler doing a good job so far. On board with Scott Taylor.
Oh, we got somebody really smoking.
I can't tell who it is from that. That looks like Dave Hockers. Dave Hockers right in front of Scott Taylor, and he can't get around him. Oh, and Scott Taylor is up in smoke.
Well, I tell you what, that black cloud, just he cannot get rid of it.
Scott Taylor did so well in the Class 8 race, is now out of this race here in the Manufacturers Production Challenge at the Chevrolet. Marty, Reid, Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson is pit side. Let's get an interval between our leader, Jack Flannery, here in the Manufacturers Production Challenge. That is lap traffic, the second vehicle coming through the screen. There is second place Walker Evans, and the gap is now 7.45 seconds. And with only a few laps remaining, that is a lot of ground. There's Jamey Flannery and Geoff Dorr. Dorr, during the commercial break, got around Steve Kelly and is now knocking on the door for third.
I wouldn't doubt that Geoff Dorr is the quickest man on the track, looks to me like, Marty. He's really running.
So he has got third place in mind and Jamey Flannery in his sights. Flannery a little high there as they come off that drop-off onto the straightaway to the gravel pit.
That's the difference in the two-wheel drive and the four-wheel drive. Geoff Dorr in the four-wheel drive, Jamey in the two-wheel drive.
Oh,
he's out in the loose. You can't do that.
Boy, you get out in that loose marbly area on the cushion and you are in trouble, and he is in big trouble.
Especially with two-wheel drive. You can afford to do that with a four-wheel drive.
Now, the one advantage is if he can stick his nose in here, he can get the inside line and he can hold onto the corner. But Dorr is going to do it on the outside, but he's now out in the loose marbles, and it's going to be a drag race, and the winner's going to be Geoff Dorr.
That's that four-wheel drive. Just pulls the loose or the hard. That's a good thing about him.
Final lap. Let's get the interval one more time. Lap traffic again between Jack Flannery and Walker Evans. He's got it down to 4.51, but I don't think he's got enough time.
I don't think he's got enough time, Marty. He's going to have to go a lot quicker than that to get him in this race.
Jack Flannery with only 2 more turns to negotiate. Dave Hawkers is there in second, or in the second position. He's actually lapped traffic. Walker Evans is going to have a difficult time getting around him.
And you can bet that Jack Flannery's keeping an eye on Walker. He's not going to let that happen, I don't believe, Marty.
Flannery over the final jump, into the final turn, not gassing it all that hard. He knows he's got the race won. Jack Flannery avenges his loss in Class 4 by winning the Manufacturers Production Challenge here at Crandon, Wisconsin, before his hometown fans at the Chevrolet Spring Run. Stay with us. We'll talk to our winner after this. No points are involved here. This is solely for bragging rights, and the rights go to Jack Flannery as he outlasts Walker Evans. Ivan Stewart's in victory lane with our winner. Ivan, it's all yours.
Well, Jack Flannery, I'll tell you that there always was the big bet, can the Class 4 beat a Class 8 on a dry track? And by golly, I think the day has come of age that Class 4 has made the mark. What do you think?
I think it really has, Ivan. It was a dry track here. In fact, it was a little bit too tight for me. My tires was hooking a little bit more than I really wanted to. I was expecting a little bit wetter track in that, but I got to agree with you. You know, these four-wheel drives we got here in Soda Series, they're just some of the fastest short course trucks I believe in the world, and I think it's just showing up. When you beat Walker Evans, I think you beat just as big as man as that there is in off-road racing. I'll be honest with you, my truck wasn't running just quite right, and my motor was running a little bit warm. But, yeah, well, we watch each other like a hawk. We know where each other's at almost every turn.
Well, congratulations to all our winners here today in round number 3 of the Soda World Series of Off-Road Racing, the Chevrolet Spring Run. We'll be with you again from Luxembourg. That'll be round number 4 in the series, the Chevrolet Off-Road Challenge, where the True Value Pro Series Championship will be battled once more. Mobile facilities for the ESPN crew are provided by Van Boxtel RV in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Accommodations for the ESPN crew are provided by Cheney's Country Club and Motel. Cheney's is located in Leona, Wisconsin.
Marty's really going to be interesting in that we know Crandon's the longest and fastest. Luxembourg's going to be the tightest and the twistiest.
So be with us when we go off-road racing next time on ESPN Speed World. For Rick Johnson in the pits, my partner Ivan Stewart in the booth, I'm Marty Reid. We hope you've enjoyed today's 3rd round of the Soda World Series of Off-Road Racing. We'll see you next time on ESPN Speed World.